Hey folks, how are you? My name is Edwens Prophete,
And my name is Jonas Doris.
and we're here to tell you about the situation going on in Haiti, the current situation and how things were in the past. But just to also tell you, what is really going on the ground and how we're doing ministry, how we get supplies across, and so far and so on. We have to keep some of this information limited just due to the fact that we are in a real situation, in a real difficult situation, especially with the gang violence and the gangs uprising in Haiti. But we will try to explain to you as much as possible what's going on. So, for those of you that don't know, Haiti is located about 700 miles off the coast of Florida. As you see, Cuba right in between, and here is where we do ministry in Haiti on the beautiful island of Hispaniola that connects Haiti and Dominican Republic together. Now, here on the island, we have over 22 churches and 10 schools. And as you see here, most of our schools and our churches are located in the central part of Haiti and also too in the southeast region, where most of our ministry is. We have some churches and schools that's out here in Grenaive and also La Gonave and also down here in the Jacmel area. But most of it will be in the Port-au-Prince metropolitan area and also to all the surrounding areas outside of Port-au-Prince. Now, given the situation with the gangs, there's been a lot of violence, territorial takeover, especially in the areas of Port-au-Prince. Now, if you look here in this map, you'll see along this line here that I can probably zoom in just a little bit more to just show you exactly what's going on here. Our main campus in Font Parisien is here next to the lake, where it says Blue Lake. It's called Lake Azul. Now, this stretch of line here is the main highway that connects Dominican Republic to Port-au-Prince, and it's the main trade route. There's about 30% of the imported goods that come inside the country comes in through here, the Dominican Republic, at the border called Malpas, which is about 8 miles from our campus in Font Parisien. Now, the gangs themselves has been uprising since about the 2019. Realistically, right after the assassination of the president Jovenel Moise in 2021, the gangs saw that they have the opportunity themselves to basically take over the entire country, and now they're working on trying to take over the entire country. But there are defenses there. There are troops on the ground. There are good people, good Haitian people on the ground doing great things to stop the gangs from taking over. But I want to tell you about really exactly what's going on and how the gangs take over. So I'm gonna draw in a little bit about what's going on. So when the gangs started their uprising, their first strategy was to basically barricade Port-au-Prince. Port-au-Prince had over 3 million people living in it at the time when the gang started taking over back in 2019, 2020, especially 2021. And since then, Port-au-Prince has gone down to less than a million people just due to the gang violence. So, what did the gangs do? Well, the first thing is if they carve out Port-au-Prince from the rest of the country, that's where the major trade lines are coming in. Here from the sea, where boats come in to the seaports here in Port-au-Prince, and also another port in Port Lafiteau, close to one of our schools and church, our community called Simonette, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit, and Doris will be able to explain to you a little bit further. They also too get supplies in from Dominican Republic. That's how we get in. Like I told you, about 30% of our import. The main thing was to stop the roads all around here that will go into Port-au-Prince and also to take over the marine of Port-au-Prince. So Port-au-Prince basically became a box to what it is today. Now there are some pockets in Port-au-Prince, like Pétionville area and Kinskov area, and some other areas in Port-au-Prince that's still kind of safe and secure for people to live. But we do have some areas that has been taken over. One particular area, and Doris, if you even want to chime in on this, is about the area of the First Church of Port-au-Prince, which is located down here within the center metropolitan of Port-au-Prince, right here, where our First Church of Port-au-Prince. So, what is the current update? What's going on with the First
And
Church now?
this is exactly where we have our first church located. And that is led by Pastor Rosie Claire Morris. This church has over 2,000 members. And because of gangs that have taken this area, now almost all the church members have been displaced. And right now, they move on to Delmas. This is where they meet on now to really nurture the people spiritually and even physically to take care of them. And they meet with about 150 members. But still, the impact of the gangs still remain there, and nobody is able to return to that place. And they
Mhm.
actually burned the church there, and people are not able at all to even return. And it's a complete mess. But what is important is they burned the church, but the people are still living their Christian life, even though they've been displaced.
And if you look into the interactive map, you'll see in 2021 the entire area, the church, the primary school, the secondary school, the entire area, all the houses, all the institutions in the area, all the businesses in the area, they were just living normal. And if you look now at 2025, where the gangs have taken over that entire area and pushed people out of that entire area, you can see the devastation that happened in First Church of Port-au-Prince. But church and communities are still thriving because they're using WhatsApp. They are meeting in small groups. Education is still being fed to the kids, and we're still trying to figure out a way to really take care of the community. Now, you're looking at the main trade route, as we talked about this area here at Port-au-Prince. First, the gangs took over the north side, which is a gang called Jeff Island. Then the gangs also took over east side of Port-au-Prince, where the Katsamawazos took over. Then you have the south side of Port-au-Prince, where the G9 and GPEP gangs have taken over this area, because they are now trying to tie in the entire area. So all along this road here, this road leading towards Port-au-Prince and Font Parisien, the gangs have taken over. Now, one main thing that happened, all these people between Port-au-Prince and Font Parisien has been getting pushed back. The gangs will take over territory, another territory, another territory, pushing the communities back to the point where the gangs pushed majority of people to the area of Font Parisien and leading to the Verrettes, where we have churches in Thomas and Font Verret, all down here, and our churches also in Onamples where many people came to seek refuge. They stayed at our churches and our schools. They stepped on the floor. We fed them food. We gave them supplies and hygiene kits or anything that we can do to help them transition to either a family member's house in the mountains somewhere or trying to figure out some way somehow to start new life. So Font Parisien goes from 21,000 people to over 100,000 people. So when the gangs try to strike Font Parisien, the people of Font Parisien and all the people, the 100,000 people, the police that are there, the border patrol that are there say, we can't let them take over. If we let them take over, how are we going to get supplies? Because the one place that they're getting supplies from is from the main border called Malpas, which is 8 miles from Parisien. That's how they would get supplies from Dominican Republic. That's how we get supplies to our campus, to our schools, to our hospitals, to our churches, to our communities. And this allow us to help the entire east side of Haiti, where we do ministry, to grab supplies from. We also have this area up here in Belader and Gordo, where we get supplies from the Dominican Republic. And so this is a huge way for us to get our supplies, help us through the logistics, but also with the chaos that happened on the main road, new roads have been carved out in this south side of Port-au-Prince, all the way leading to the south side of Haiti to get supplies back to here to the east side if things needs to come from Port-au-Prince. And that created new economies for all these communities that were struggling economically. People will host people at their houses, and it takes about 2 days to make that track, where it used to take us about 45 minutes to get from Port-au-Prince to Font Parisien. And when the gangs tried to strike Font Parisien, the people of Font Parisien stood up and said, we're going to defend Font Parisien. But not only did they defend Font Parisien and they beat the gangs, they also saved the country from guns and weapons that were coming in and flowing in from gangs in Dominican Republic that were financing gangs in Haiti. This was a huge stop, what Fonds Parisien did. And thankful to what Fonds Parisien did, they saved the entire country from going into further chaos. So where there is difficulty and darkness, we also have to highlight the true stories that are happening of the people that are on the ground that are saving their communities. Now, reaching here, we had some incidents that happened. There's another port up here in the north side of Haiti, where this port is called Port Lafitte, right next to a town called Simonet. The gangs wanted to take over all the ports practically and any access ways of getting supplies in Haiti. When the gangs came into Port Lafitte, they took towns next to it. People seek refuge in the areas of Simonet. People seek refuge in the areas a little bit north of here in Gonaïve. People even went to seek refuge in the area of Fontcheval. But then the gangs decided that the port wasn't enough. So they made their way up the mountain to come all the way up here to a town called Mirbalais, because their strategic route was to keep marching to go up here to a dam called Pelig Dam, which is way up here, which gives about 30% of the hydroelectric power to the country. And their strategic plan was to take over that so they could have control of the energy source, of another energy source, 30% energy source of the country. So when the gangs tried to take over that, the police held strong and fought them so that way that they don't take over the dam. But unfortunately, they did decide to reroute and go here to our church at Sarrazin. And unfortunately, as you could elaborate on that, though, yeah. What happened in our town of Sarrazin.
This is so sad for us as leaders in Haiti, and knowing that gangs get to that location and they assassinated the pastor and his son-in-law, and they occupied the entire church community and churchyard, and up to now, church service has not been resumed yet, but we're in contact with some of the people there, and the pastor's daughter, we've been in communication with her to know exactly what is going there, but things are still not doing well for them, but we'll keep on praying. As I said, it is very sad for us to report to that we have lost one of our pastors through the tragedies that is happening with the gangs in Haiti right now, in that locality that is called Sarrazin.
And we ask you to pray for all of our pastors, all of our school directors, all of our teachers, anybody serving in a mission, because they have such a heavy task. But there's light in the way that we're serving. As I talk to you about the gangs taking over all these areas and crippling roads and crippling the surrounding area of Port-au-Prince, we still do ministry. Yes. On the north side, we still get supplies to our churches in the north side. And here in the area called Belladere, here on the East Coast, we host even people that are being thrown from the Dominican Republic. Haitians that live in the Dominican Republic their entire lives are just being picked up in these buses and being thrown over the border, where our pastor, Tunier, is there hosting and taking people that are coming in from the Dominican Republic. They get supplies from the Dominican Republic as well, and they know what the ministry is doing. So the Border Patrol at the Dominican Republic has been gracious to our ministry and saying, any supplies you guys need. So there's some good things happening in the Dominican Republic too. We just can't look at the macro surface of things. We have to look at the micro on what people are doing, how communities are locking arms together, how Malapas, the Border Patrol, both in the Haiti and Dominican side, are working together to get supplies to our ministry here and to our churches here. Even talking about the gangs taking over ports, the police and the SWAT have fought back and taken back the ports on Port-au-Prince. And so if you look at here, we still get supplies in the Port-au-Prince area just because the port here has been freed. And so when we get supplies for our Port-au-Prince area here, we get it for our churches and our schools in the area. We get it from the ports, Simonet as well, get it from the ports. And in the eastern side of things, we get crops from the south that comes in, that were raised in these beautiful farms in the mountainsides of Haiti, that comes into the eastern side, and also they take the roads to Port-au-Prince to get there, and take the back roads through Pétionville. Or if we're in the north side of Haiti, we get our supplies through the northern side of Haiti and comes down this way, because these areas are still safe and the gangs have not taken over Haiti. There's ministry that's being done. We're still getting our supplies in. We are even going through digital transfers to get the payroll to the areas that we need to by doing it things like sending funding in apps that are very similar to like Zelle or Cash App or Western Union, and we're getting those funding to our communities and our churches, and ministry still being done. And anybody who's serving there just has the opportunity to do something greater than themselves. And so we just thank the Lord for your resources and how much you guys contribute to the ministry and how much you guys are praying for the ministry. Ministry is still going on. We have 51 years, and we pray that God gives us another 51 years.
And we want to thank you for your support, because without you, ministry will not continue to happen. With God and with you, we are striving. Hope thrives.
Thank you, and God bless.